Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Rajjana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Ashtotrashata Shishmad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Ashtotrashata Shishmad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopakapana Shama Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Ganga Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Govardhan Dham Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru, Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, entitled Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 28, Pranjana becomes a woman in the next life. We're on text 41. Please repeat after me. Sakshat Bhagavata Uktena Guruna Harina Nripa Vishuddha Jnana Deepena Spurata Vishvata Mukam Sakshat Bhagavatoknena Guruna Harina Nripa Vishuddha Jnana Deepena Spurata Vishvato Mukam Sakshat Bhagavatoktena Guruna Harina Nripa Vishuddha Jnana Deepena Spurata Vishvato Mukam Sakshat Bhagavatoktena Guruna Harina Nripa Vishuddha Jnana Dipena Spurata Vishvato Mukham.
Sakshat Bhagavatoktena Guruna Harina Nripa Vishuddha Purata Vishvatomukham. Sakshat Bhagavatoktena Guruna Harinanapa Vishuddha Jnana Purata Vishvatomukham. Sakshat Bhagavatoktena Guruna Harinanapa Sakshat Bhagavatoktena Guruna Harinanapa Vishuddha Jnana Dipena Purata Vishvatomukham. Sakshat Bhagavatoktena Guruna Harinanapa Vishuddha Jnana Dipena Purata Vishvatomukham. Sakshat Bhagavatoktena Guruna Harinanapa Vishuddha Jnana Dipena Purata Vishvatomukham.
Sakshat, directly. Bhagavata, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Uktena, instructed. Guruna, the spiritual master. Harina, by Lord Hari. Nripa, O King. Vishuddha, pure. Jnana, knowledge. Dipena, by the light of. Spurata, enlightening. Vishvata Mukham, all angles of vision. Translation and commentary by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. In this way, King Malayadwaja attained perfect knowledge, because in his pure state he was directly instructed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By means of such enlightening transcendental knowledge, he could understand everything from all angles of vision. Purport. In this verse, the words Sakshat Bhagavatoktena Guruna Harina are very significant. The Supreme Personality of Godhead speaks directly to the individual soul when the devotee has completely purified himself by rendering devotional service to the Lord. Lord Krishna confirms this also in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text 10. Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam pratipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. The Lord is the Supersoul seated in everyone's heart, and He acts as the Chaitya Guru, the spiritual master within. However, He gives direct instructions only to the advanced pure devotees. In the beginning, when a devotee is serious and sincere, the Lord gives him directions from within to approach a bona fide spiritual master. When one is trained by the spiritual master according to the regulative principles of devotional service, and is situated on the platform of spontaneous attachment for the Lord, Raga Bhakti, the Lord also gives instructions from within. Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam. This distinct advantage is obtained by a liberated soul. Having attained this stage, King Malayadwaja was directly in touch with the Supreme Lord and was receiving instructions from him directly. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshulanmaditam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karitivachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yakripatamaham Vande Shri Gurundiritarinam Vancha kapadribhishta kripa sindhubheva patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So read the translation again. In this way, King Malayadwaja attained perfect knowledge, because in his pure state he was directly instructed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By means of such enlightening transcendental knowledge, he could understand everything from all angles of vision. So Srila Prabhupada was once asked by a reporter, who said there's some idea that, the spiritual master, the guru, they know everything, right? And now, of course, that's a topic in itself that sometimes devotees have trouble with understanding. That how is it that the spiritual master knows everything, or how what does that mean exactly? And does it mean that the spiritual master is omniscient? That means to know everything, right? Is the spiritual master omniscient? Does he just know like absolutely everything? And I remember hearing this time where Tamal Krishna Goswami, he had a speaking engagement. He had a speaking engagement at a particular time in the day. But before, he wanted to take a little nap. People take naps, snaps, whatever. So he was traveling and he was tired, so he laid down. He'd take a nap, and but he wasn't getting up. And devotees, there are two devotees there in the other room, and they're the ones going to take him to the program, this and that, but he wasn't getting up. And then it's okay. Well, what do we do here? I mean, he knows that he needs to go, and he's fully aware. He's our spiritual master. What are we supposed to do? We're supposed to wake him up, or is this just like did he decide not to go? And then they were, they're looking through the Bhagavad Gita, looking through the Srimad Bhagavatam, trying to, as a spiritual master, omniscient, what should we do here? And they're really bewildered. And they just decided, okay, we're just going to let him, surely, we're just going to let him rest. He knows what he's doing. So then he wakes up, it's kind of dark out or something, he wakes up and he goes out and he asks them, he says, it seems like we missed the event, the program, so what happened? Why didn't you wake me up? And then they say, I'm sorry, we didn't really know to wake you up. You're our spiritual master, and we're thinking maybe you just decided not to go. You know what you're doing and all that. So they said, no, you should have waken me up. And also, sometimes devotees, they think in relation to Srila Prabhupada, is Srila Prabhupada omniscient, right? It means absolutely knows everything, like omniscient, like God, right? By definition, when we think of omniscient, people think of God. So is Prabhupada like God in that way? And many devotees have explained this in different ways. I think Javita Prabhu has written an article on this, from back to Godhead, right? Oh, what's back to? It was a paper. Okay, you wrote a paper. A few papers have been written about this, yeah. So, and devotees have brought up the point that Srila Prabhupada was sometimes, he would ask for reports. How is this temple doing? How is everything? How's the Sankirtan? How's the, paying the mortgage? How are things going? How are the devotees? Is this devotee here? Is that devotee here? This and that. And devotees who dealt personally with Srila Prabhupada said that Prabhupada would do that often. He'd ask for reports. And they brought up the point that if Srila Prabhupada would ask for reports, he wants to know. Means he wasn't omniscient, means he wasn't knowing everything that's going on, absolutely every little detail that was going on there, but he wanted a report. And devotees were bringing it up that if Srila Prabhupada knew, they were saying, I don't really think that Prabhupada was just asking for a report just because, for like our purification or something. But Prabhupada really wanted to know what's going on. And of course, this also gets into a very strange realm, because if the spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada and others, they're expected to know everything, then what about all the terrible thing? I mean, I'm sorry, bring it up, but it's a world in which people are sometimes mentally deranged, and they do wrong things, bizarre things, abusive things. So what about some of those cases going on in Srila Prabhupada's time in ISKCON? If Prabhupada knew about that, he would have, kicked certain people out of their positions and so on. So, yeah. So when Srila Prabhupada was asked about this, the Guru knows everything, so they asked him, okay, well, how many windows are in the Empire State Building? Yeah. Now, reporter did. Now, at the particular time, now of course, back then, it's not that people just, pull out their phone and, type it in and Google it, search, right? Oh, how many windows in the Empire State Building? It's like Prabhupada would do that anyways, but or he would ask his he would ask his disciples to do that anyways. But anyways, they asked the reporter asked how many windows in the Empire State Building, and then he responded. He said how many drops of water? I think he said how many drops of water in a mirage? Yeah, how many drops of water in a mirage? So, which is indicating, Srila Prabhupada is indicating this person that it doesn't really matter. That's not essential knowledge. But the spiritual master knows everything in relation to how to guide a soul back to Godhead, how to, the knowledge of Krishna consciousness. And aside from being completely conversant in the knowledge of Krishna consciousness, or the Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, the spiritual master also knows, you could say, whatever Krishna wants him to know at the particular time. Just like when Srila Prabhupada was dealing with the Juhu project, it's quite a... Anyways, that book's coming. They should be in LA within maybe 6 weeks. They're getting a big shipment there. And Vaisheshika Prabhu is ordering like a huge quantity of those books. And anyways, so that book's coming, and my spiritual master's book, Juhu book. So in that whole pastime, Prabhupada getting the land and this and that, fighting for the land, and all the devotees fighting, there were so many cases where apparently Srila Prabhupada had friends and supporters that were trying to help him in the legal sense and many other ways. But actually later on, they turned out to be on Mr. Nair's side. Yeah. Like lawyers and all types of, they're on Mr. Nair's side, but they're acting like they're on Srila Prabhupada's side. Yeah. So then that was brought up one time. Srila Prabhupada found out about it. He said, I'm really surprised. Something like this. He said, I'm really surprised that that he was on Mr. Nair's side. And he said, I would have never imagined that. And I'm trying to think of the exact words he said. But anyways, the main point at the end, he said that maybe Krishna didn't want me to know. Maybe Krishna didn't want me to know that these people were against us. Meaning that Krishna could have informed Srila Prabhupada this way or that way, directly, but he didn't. And he said maybe Krishna didn't want me to know. So anyways, that's another aspect of... Sometimes Krishna doesn't want the spiritual master to know certain things. But here we see King Malayadwaja said he was directly instructed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this happens within the Bhagavatam. That's why it's such an amazing book, collection of books, because there's so many cases where Krishna directly appears, or Vishnu directly appears. Like when he appears to Dhruva Maharaj, Lord Nrsingadev comes, right, to kill Hiranyakashipu, and he's there before Prahlad Maharaj. And there's so many examples where Krishna personally appears. 10th canto, right? And he gives instructions. So this is what's happened with King Malayadwaja. And it's saying, by means of such enlightening transcendental knowledge, he can understand everything from all angles of vision. So this is Srila Prabhupada. He wanted us to know the Srimad Bhagavatam, or discuss the Srimad Bhagavatam from all angles of vision. And Srila Prabhupada also said that we should know his books like lawyers know law books. Why? Because when they're in a court case, they can immediately call on particular aspects of their law books to make their case. If they don't have that, it's like they have no chance. I mean, they're not a lawyer. Get out of the courtroom. Right? The judge isn't going to listen to him at all. So recently I was asking Narendra Prabhu about kind of like reading tips, because it seems like he has a taste, for reading and studying Prabhupada's books. So he told me some valuable advice, and he said that we should try to, you have like a zone, he said, I have my Bhajan Kutir. He has a room in his house, and he says he turns off his phone, and then when people call, he has a certain message that plays. And the message is, I'm sorry I missed your call, but right now I'm in Samadhi, so you're going to have to call me later. Which means he's studying Prabhupada's books. So he just... Okay, nobody disturb me. I'm studying Prabhupada's books. And he said, turn off the phone. He said, turn off the phone. And put it away. And he also said that to try to pick a book, which it seems quite common sense, this idea. Now, of course, we're working our way gradually through Prabhupada's books. But this thing I never really thought about so much. But he said you pick a particular book that really inspires you, that really encourages, that really, grabs your attention, one of Prabhupada's books. Because naturally certain books do that, like Krishna book. For him, it's Krishna book. And for somebody else, it's the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Somebody else is the Bhagavad, Sri Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita. So there's different books. They have different moods and flavors. And so he's saying to pick a particular book that really attracts you and focus on that. And another thing he said was to try to learn a particular book really well. Like, for example, you could take the Nectar of Instruction, learn all the verses, Sanskrit verses, learn all the English ones, and then read the purports over and over again. So not only did he have the Sanskrit verses, English verses, but practically, in so many ways, you have the purport memorized. You could easily repeat it for the benefit of others. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam. So Shravanam, hearing, and then chanting, and it's complete. Now we may, I mean, we shouldn't think, okay, well, I have direct connection with Krishna, and I could hear him, you know, I could hear him. That voice in my head is Krishna. A lot of the times, that voice in the head is just, I mean, I don't want to say for anybody, I'm not, but for, you know, a lot of people, the voice in the head is just some rascal kind of, yeah, rascal voice of lust, for example, which is, it's, yeah, you could say it's a voice. Okay, oh, what about this? You know, do this or do that. It's a voice in people's head. And that voice needs to be ignored more and more and more. I mean, ideally, just ignore it altogether right off the bat. But ignore that voice that is telling us to engage in non-Krishna activities. And then gradually, when we ignore it more and more and more, and of course we're becoming more and more Krishna conscious, then that voice of lust or greed or anger or whatever the voice is, that mundane rascal voice, will become less and less and less and less and less, and eventually it'll just become muted. Can't hear it. Like you can't hear Maya's calling anymore, which is great, actually. Can't hear Maya's calling. Just like on this, there's all types of wonderful paintings that devotees did over the years in Prabhupada's books, BBT paintings. There's one painting, everybody knows it, but another thing is to really look at because sometimes, you know, we've seen the painting so many times, it's like, okay, I saw that painting before, but, you know, to kind of really focus in on it, look at it and see what's going on there and the different. But there's a painting, you have Radha Krishna at the top of a staircase, and you got one, you know, happy brahmachari kind of going up the stairs, and it's saying self-control, austerity, all these different things, you know, going up the stairs to Radha Krishna. And then you have this, which, yeah, I didn't really notice so much, but you have this man there. It looks like he was like, he's on the side, like he's just about to follow the brahmachari up the stairs. He's got long hair, he's got a dhoti and everything. But then there's this, there's this, woman, and she has a garland, and she's on the side of, you know, the stairs going down. And it's like, you know, pride, lust, anger, all these things. And then you see this man, he's kind of like smiling, kind of like this smile, yeah. And then she's off in the garden. He's going on his way down. So it was kind of like to me, it seemed what they're trying to communicate there was like, there was like a devotee. He's kind of going on his way up, but he kind of got a little sidetracked. Okay, yeah, I'll go that way. You know, looks good to me. And then you got a guy going a little further down the path, and he's got a chain hooked to his neck. And you got one chain going this way, has lust. There's this ugly-looking figure that represents lust, and then anger. The guy looks really angry, and then greed, and they're all with the neck, you know, driving him down. Then you got a guy at the very end. He's like at the, sorry, I don't mean to laugh. But he's at the end of the staircase going down there. He's got a really demented look on his face, and apparently he's going after. There's some woman there. She's holding, you know, jewelry. You know, gold and stuff, and he's going down, and so it's actually, I like the picture a lot. Actually, it's actually quite nice. So these voices, the, you know, voice of Maya, the call of Maya, it's there, but we have to learn how to kill that voice. And be so spiritually strong that it doesn't bother us at all. Just like Haridas Thakur, Srila Haridas Thakur, amazing example. First, he was, we know the pastime, but Ramchandra Khan, he's coming and he's envious of Haridas Thakur. He's getting so much respect. So, okay, let me hire a prostitute to go and bewilder him, to shame him, to humiliate him, to make him fall down. So then she came there and she, oh, please, I'd like to unite with you, this and that, and you're such a handsome young man. And, oh, yeah, I'm chanting Hare Krishna, I'm chanting. Just wait here and surely I'll fulfill your desire. So 3 nights pass and she's waiting. She's becoming purified. And then she says, I'm so sorry, I came to make you fall down, and this Ramchandra Khan, he sent me here. So he said, no problem, I knew that you came here for this particular purpose, and I just stayed to purify you. Now, of course, shouldn't imitate Haridas Thakur. So many ways. But that's what he did. And she became purified, she became a great saint there, and people would come and offer her respect, and she became a great devotee. But then later on in that chapter, now of course Ramchandra Khan, because of that offense, he really pays for it. It says like a Muslim zamindar landholder he's cheating on his taxes, Ramchandra Khan, and then after that, well, first of all, Nityananda Prabhu comes to town. He's there. He goes to Ramchandra Khan's place and he says, "Can you please arrange for me a place to stay?" So Ramchandra Khan, or specifically, he was asked, "Can I stay at your place?" For whatever reason, Nityananda Prabhu was asking that. And Ramchandra Khan said, "No, I don't want you to stay here. Go stay in some cow shed or something." Kind of very dismissive and rude, actually. And so then Nityananda Prabhu got angry and he said, "This place isn't fit for me to stay. This place is fit for eaters of cow flesh." And he said, I'm leaving. And he left. So then Ramchandra Khan said he tried to dig up the dirt where Nityananda Prabhu was. I mean, it's really offensive. It's like, I thought he was so obnoxious that he wanted to dig up the dirt where he was standing. So anyways, Nityananda Prabhu left town. And then, shortly after, a Muslim landholder came, Ramchandra Khan's, tax collector. And Ramchandra Khan was cheating on his taxes. And then, this Muslim tax collector, he just tied up Ramchandra Khan and his family, looted their house, looted the whole town, and destroyed the whole town. And then for 3 days straight, said that they killed a cow on Ramchandra Khan's property, and cooked and ate there 3 days straight. And there in the verses in the commentary, it says that anyone who offends a pure devotee like Haridas Thakur and Nityananda Prabhu, we got like double. They have to suffer due to those offenses. But then later on, Haridas Thakur is in a cave, and who comes? Maya Devi herself. She wasn't just some beautiful prostitute, a beautiful woman. It was Maya Devi herself. If anyone is going to fall down from their spiritual vows due to sexual attraction, lust, it's going to be due to Maya directly. But did Haridas fall down? No, he didn't. Same thing happened. He told her, "Okay, please wait, please. I'm chanting. And it said that she was trying to bewilder him with all types of feminine charms. But it said that would attract the mind of Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, but it didn't work. And then eventually Haridas Thakur, he initiated her into the chanting. So now we should take great encouragement from this, is that, of course, Haridas Thakur, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur, but that same strength is available to us, provided we take it. So again, the voice in our head, we can't claim that it's the voice of Krishna, the voice of our spiritual master. In many ways, it's quite the opposite. So what do we do? Well, tesham satyayuktanam bhajatam pratipurvakam, that we engage constantly and worshiping Krishna with love. And then Krishna will give us understanding. So in other words, he will give us the understanding how to make advancement, how to overcome our obstacles, how to distribute books, how to distribute more books. He'll give us the inspiration how to do that. And if we, and again, we shouldn't we shouldn't doubt ourselves or doubt Krishna in terms of how much we could distribute. It may seem impossible. Okay, can I really go out and distribute 50 Bhagavad Gitas? Yes, you can. Why not? That's only 50 people. Or, instead of selling a person one Bhagavad Gita, you could sell them a few Bhagavad Gitas. Say, hey, I know you got some friends. I know you got some family members that are that are interested in spirituality, meditation. Why don't you give it to them? It's a time of giving, right? Christmas time. Take a few. It's not that expensive. You just bought whatever, Starbucks, your $10 coffee and whatever, it's not that expensive. You could spend a little extra for a few Bhagavad Gitas. As Vaisheshika Prabhu says, right? Sell them like bunches of bananas. Just load them up, take a few. So in other words, where there's a will, there's a way. So if we try to, just like distributing 2 million Bhagavad Gitas throughout the world, that's a lot. That's a lot of books. Now, if we, as International Society of Krishna Consciousness, if we put that out there, okay, we want to do 2 million, right? Shoot for the rhino. Then it becomes possible. But if we say, okay, we want to do 1 million, well, generally we'll kind of shoot for that, and we may only do that. But if we do 2 million, then it's setting it high, the standard high. And that's important because if we set it high, then we have a tendency to strive in that direction, and then we may end up doing something that that we're happy with. Actually, just like that. There's I'm thinking of that the case, right, where the king, what is it? Yeah. How does it go? Here, when you pass him the mic, 'cause maybe you could take off your mask too.
As far as I remember, something like a king wants to fill a well with water, so he asks every person, bring a bucket of milk. We're gonna fill up a big well with milk.
Yeah.
So every person thinks, well, hey, milk's expensive. How about everybody else is bringing milk? I'll just bring a bucket of water.
Yeah.
Nobody will notice. It'll split up amongst all the people's buckets of milk. It'll basically won't be any different. It'll basically still be milk. So I'll just bring a bucket of water, and everybody else can bring milk. And then every single person brought a bucket of water, and they filled up the well.
Yes. So this is the psychology, right? Human psychology. That, okay, everybody bring milk. We're going to fill up a well. Now, of course, why would you want to fill up a well of milk? I don't know, but we're going to fill up a well of milk, right? Milk. And then, like Mukunda trying to prove, too expensive. I just bring water. Nobody's going to, and everybody brings water. Just like Prabhupada with, he told my spiritual master, who was the temple president at the time, he said, Prabhupada said, we should have chanting every day, 24-hour kirtan in the temple room every single day. And then my spiritual master was thinking, we're just starting to build the temple, and we got a lot of duties to do, and there's not so many of us, and how are we going to do that? Srila Prabhupada, he was thinking like that. So then, eventually, it got reduced to, okay, at least Saturdays. I think it was Sundays for whatever, 8 hours or something. So in other words, if you start off at, okay, let's do 8, if Prabhupada would say, okay, so let's start off at 8 hours, then you try to reduce it to 4 hours, 2 hours, but then you start off really big, and then it was reduced to the, a time which people thought was manageable. Devotees said was manageable. So if we set if we set a high goal, then you could say like that, it's like, oh, that's really high. It's like, oh, that's a lot. But then you could say, okay, well, maybe we do a little less than that, but will still be good. But then maybe we even do more. We may even reach that goal. So therefore, as Prabhupada, he loved this thing. Okay, shoot for the rhinoceros. What does that mean? It's very difficult to get a rhinoceros. But if you get it, people, oh wow, amazing! How'd you do that? But if you don't get it, people say, oh, well, it's a rhinoceros. I mean, no problem. I mean, he tried, and but it's not amazing that he didn't do it. So whatever it is, okay, can we do 50 Bhagavad Gitas a day? I mean, like an individual devotee. Yeah, sure, why not? It's possible. It's not impossible. It's possible. And how is that possible? Because Krishna will give us the intelligence how to do it. Krishna, because it's the words, right? A lot of the times, it's the words that impact somebody, that impact an individual to take a book. It's not the only thing, but that's one of the factors. What you say to the person, how you say it. So some people may be given excuses. Oh, well, I don't know if I really want to take a book or this or that. And well, Krishna will give us intelligence how to speak in such a way that will inspire them to take. And it will be people who are just like we think that would ever take a book. Like I remember I was distributing books out in El Cajon. Kind of a amusing place to distribute books. But we're going door to door, and I knocked on this person's door, and a woman walked out, and she said, in many of our books, by the way, they're not so, anyways, I don't want to be like, seem critical or something towards, but many of our books are not Christian friendly. Like, in other words, if a Christian looks at that book, they think, oh man, like what, anyways, Lord Vishnu with the four arms and all that. Immediately Christians, anyways, but there's other books that are more, maybe Chant Be Happies or this and that, more Christian friendly. But whatever the case, I tried to give her a book, and I mean, in her mind, she categorized it as Hindu, as she was a Christian. So then I spoke with her. I said, oh yeah, but I said this and that. Please take a book. Really like you to have one. And she said, okay, sure, I'll take it. She said, I have no idea why I'm taking this right now, and why I'm giving you money, but yeah, I'll take it. She got it. So Krishna, the spiritual master Krishna, they'll inspire us, and gradually we will develop that spontaneous attraction to Krishna by following the ABCs, you could say, spiritual life, and then gradually, more and more is revealed to us by our following the ABCs, and also having faith. Most important, Yasyadeva Para Bhakti. What is it? Yeah. Tasyat. Yeah. Prakashante Mahatmanaha. So, it says that that person who has full faith in the spiritual master and Krishna, says that that all of the revealed scriptures are, the secrets of all the revealed scriptures are automatically revealed to that person. So, how to make advancement, what to do in Krishna, everything is revealed if we have full faith in the spiritual master Krishna. How to distribute more books. So does anybody have any comments or questions? Wow, Hare Krishna. Glenn, you have something?
I was at Ocean Beach 2 days ago, and I brought a Bhagavad Gita Spanish version.
He's rubbing off on you.
And this person, he bought a English Bhagavad Gita and a Spanish Bhagavad Gita, and then he said, this will be a nice gift for my grandma.
Mm.
So you were talking about, giving it as a gift or...
Yes. See, like, the more, like, it sounds like, oh, will they really take more? Well, we don't really know. That's the thing. We don't know if they'll take more books. Then, like, we give them one Bhagavad Gita. They take it. They accept it. They're ready to take it. Now, they may take another 2, 3, 4. We don't know. But how do we know? We know if we ask. We say, hey, you know what? Hey, it's Christmas time, and, maybe you got a brother or sister or friend into yoga, meditation. This is like the book on yoga, ultimately it is. Bhakti yoga, meditation. So, you have anybody else who could take it? And sometimes they'll say, no, I don't really have anybody, or I don't want to spend any more. But sometimes they'll say, yeah, I do actually. That's a good idea. And here you go. Here's some more Lakshmi, more money. Just like, sorry to use myself example, but I was distributing a set, Srimad Bhagavatam set, to one person. She called and she came to the temple, Indian lady. And I said, all right, great, you have the set. And I said, well, you know what? We also have the Chaitanya Charitamrita set. And Srila Prabhupada, he wanted everyone to have in their home a set, Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, if you want, you could also take that today. We have it available. And she said, well, how much is it? I said, well, about another $125. She said, yeah, sure, I'll take it. And I said, all right, great. And I said, well, also, we have the Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita. And I said, this is a great book. It has all Prabhupada's pastimes and this. And I said, if you want, you could also take that today. She said, how much was it? I said, well, I forgot how much it is, $75 or $50. I said, yeah. She said, yeah. She said, yeah, I'll take it, sure. So she came to get a Srimad Bhagavatam. She got a Chaitanya Charitamrita and a Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita as well. So if we ask more, people take more, they may do it. So, and that's better. It's better for them. It's better for other people. It's better for us. It's better for Srila Prabhupada. It's better for 2 million Gitas goal, right? For that 2 million Gita goal. So, all right.
Also, we just got so many donations for distribution of Bhagavad Gitas.
Oh, nice.
Bhakti Abhidhar gave $1,400, and then I think we got others also, other donations.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let them fly, whoever talked to. You have any friends that might want to be interested, and just, let them fly. Just let the Gitas fly,
All right. Yeah.
That's a discount. We're giving them out. That's like the biggest discount.
That's another way of doing it. Maybe a discount to take 5.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So you're saying you could say, we're doing a discount right now. If you take 5, you give 5, or take 5 and give whatever. Kind of present it like that. Yeah, okay. Alex told me yesterday that he met somebody on book distribution who knew about Genevieve Harrison, the singer. Everybody knows singer Genevieve Harrison. I'm not sure what anyways, whatever. But so this person met Alex, and they got a book. And they knew Genevieve Harrison in terms of not knew her personally, but they would listen to her kirtans and stuff. And anyways, apparently Genevieve Harrison is now associating with Will Smith's daughter. And Will Smith's daughter is getting more, it seems, into Krishna consciousness. Like apparently on her social media, Will Smith's daughter. Will Smith is a big, famous actor, especially when I was young. I remember, kid, but very famous now too. But so on Will Smith's daughter's social media, she posted like a picture of the disciplic succession, the parampara, and different things like that. It's kind of interesting. But anyways, I don't know what you're gonna say.
I was gonna say in that same vein of people coming back, and taking books. I met a guy yesterday who he had met Mukunda, and he got a POI, and I think maybe a Gita from Mukunda. It was that guy you said he was a nice guy. He had and he came back to my table. I think because Mukunda met him like a while ago, but anyway, he came back to my table, and he took like 5 POIs. He gave like $20. He's like, how much should I give to take like 5 of these? I want to give them to my friends and family. I think, they're really good. He said he read it all in one go.
Oh, so he got a few. He want to give it to his friends and family.
Yeah, he took like 5 or 6.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
They say, "Ask and you shall receive." Right? It's like Prabhupada. We should never underestimate the power of asking. Prabhupada would ask he would sometimes ask for like whole building. Yeah, just give us the building. No, we're beggars. We're preachers, and that's largely how he got that Detroit building. Of course, he said, "I can't give it to you for free," but Prabhupada, he talked him down a lot by asking. Just like Prabhupada asked Ambarish, right, Alfred Ford, about TLVP. You should try to contribute to this and do something. And yeah, now it's going up, and devotees they went on that whole TLVP tour. They're asking, "Can you please help? Can you please help give donations?" And yeah, the power of asking, and huge. It's actually one of the biggest, right? It's one of the biggest religious temples, structures in the world. Oh yeah, okay. All right. Grantaraj Bhagavatam Ki Jai.